People hear me say this and sometimes assume I'm exaggerating or coping or being reckless with language. They assume I'm claiming recovery, that I'm saying MS is gone, that I'm rewriting the disease instead of describing my life. They assume there has to be a catch, that I'm leaving something out, that I'm soothing over something that's supposed to be frightening, that I'm oversimplifying something that's meant to be complicated. But I'm not. And I've learned I don't need to harden it or soften it to make it true. I have multiple sclerosis, and I live without any symptoms. Not some days, not on a good week, or not when I'm careful, not for now. I live a full, stable, symptom-free life. And what surprises people most isn't even the claim itself. It's how calm I am when I say it. How settled it sounds. How light it feels.
That calm matters more than people realize. Because a regulated nervous system is not a side effect of health, it's a necessity for it. When fear dominates the internal environment, the brain stays in threat mode, and threat mode is incompatible with remyelination, adaptability, or long-term stability. You can't reorganize wiring when the system believes it's under constant attack. You can't invest in insulation when survival feels uncertain. Steve isn't calm because he's ignoring MS. He's calm because his nervous system no longer exists in emergency, and that creates room for something else. Ease.
Here's the part that usually gets missed, and this is where things actually get hopeful. I didn't wake up one day and decide to be positive. I didn't manifest anything. I didn't refine my thoughts until symptoms disappeared. I didn't convince myself I was fine when I wasn't. I didn't force optimism. I didn't fake strength. I rebuilt my life around one very practical question. What keeps my nervous system stable? That question became my filter for work, for relationships, for how I moved, for how I rested, for how I recovered, for what I say yes to, and what I walk away from. And slowly, quietly, without any big moment, stability became my baseline. Not dramatic, just dependable.
Baseline is the key word.
What surprised me most was realizing that symptoms weren't the disease. They were the consequence of it. Fix the disease and symptoms vanish.
Think of it like a signal. The message is still there, but there's static, noise, delay, misfiring, poor timing, extra effort just to get through.
Once I stopped fighting the noise and started protecting the signal, things just got easier.
When communication stabilizes, the system stops overcompensating. Less noise, cleaner timing, lower effort.
That's when symptoms stop being recruited. Not because I forced them away, because the signal finally had room to come through.
When the nervous system feels safe enough, it chooses efficiency, and efficiency feels like ease.
People always ask me what I do, whatever they mean. They expect a protocol or a supplement list, a strict routine, a plan they can copy line by line. They want steps. They want rules. They want certainty. I understand that. I did too. What has taken me decades to formulate is what I have now. I have essentials, non-negotiables.
Essentials are not habits, they're conditions. Conditions that tell the nervous system first, you are safe enough to reorganize. Second, you don't need to stay on guard. Third, you can invest in repair instead of defense.
Slow wave sleep is one of them. Not perfect sleep. Protected sleep. Deep sleep with boundaries. Deep sleep without apology. Deep sleep that I treat as infrastructure, not indulgence. I don't bargain with it. I don't steal from it. I don't try to be impressed when I sacrifice it. Because every time I did in the past, my body reminded me why it mattered.
Sleep is when myelin maintenance actually happens. Oligodendrocytes don't do their best work under stress hormones. They don't repair well under fragmentation or unpredictability. They do their work during deep, slow wave sleep, when the nervous system finally stands down and energy can be allocated toward repair.
And one thing I know a lot of MS patients struggle with is stress. Stress boundaries are extremely important. I don't live a small life. I live a deliberate one. I choose fewer things and do them fully. I don't stack obligations just to prove resilience. I don't glorify overwhelm. I don't confuse chaos with productivity.
Chronic stress keeps microglia activated. Activated microglia don't support repair. They guard against threat. They maintain vigilance. They keep the system defensive and reactive. Reducing stress isn't avoidance. It's giving the nervous system permission to stand down long enough to heal and recalibrate.
My favorites. Resistance training and high-intensity cardio have massive effects. Not punishment, not chaos, not exhaustion for the sake of exhaustion. They are the kind of movement that has documented effects on inflammation as well as remyelination. Movement that leaves me clearer than when I started. Movement that sharpens me instead of draining me. Movement that feels like coordination returning, not willpower being spent.
Heavy lifting and supramaximal intervals don't just build strength, they change the repair environment of the nervous system. They increase BDNF and IGF-1, activating oligodendrocytes and supporting remyelination along active pathways. They also activate PGC-1 alpha, linked to thicker, more efficient myelin. Muscle releases myokines that reduce inflammatory signaling, creating conditions where repair can happen. And because the effort is short and precise, not exhausting, these movements improve timing and coordination without overwhelming the system. That's why this kind of training builds conduction quality, not just strength. And when conduction improves, the brain reinforces those pathways. Clarity is efficient.
I also realize what many people do. Food supports that. Not perfectly, not obsessively, not fearfully, but supportively. enough to feel steady, enough to feel fueled, enough to avoid unnecessary volatility, enough to keep the system predictable, stable glucose, reduced inflammatory signaling, predictable energy availability, and this is where my diet matters. I eat in a 4-hour window. This isn't a shortcut. It's not a punishment. But because intermittent fasting changes the internal environment of the nervous system.
A compressed eating window improves insulin sensitivity and reduces glucose volatility, two factors that directly affect neuronal firing stability. Lower insulin and longer fasting periods increase metabolic flexibility, allowing the brain to rely more on ketones, which burn cleaner and generate fewer inflammatory byproducts than glucose. Fasting also downregulates chronic inflammatory signaling and activates cellular repair pathways like autophagy, the process that clears damaged proteins and dysfunctional cellular components. For the nervous system, this means less noise, fewer competing signals, more consistent energy delivery.
I don't eat this way to shrink my body. I eat this way to quiet my system. When my meals are contained, my energy stops spiking and crashing. My focus steadies. My movement feels cleaner. My nervous system isn't reacting to digestion.
Digestive demand is a neurological load. Reducing how often the body processes food frees up resources for signaling, repair, and regulation. For someone with MS, that reduction in background load can be the difference between constant compensation and clarity. All of it feeds into one outcome: clearer, quieter communication inside the brain.
Here's the thing most people don't expect. None of this feels restrictive anymore. I feel lighter. It feels freeing because I'm not managing symptoms all day. I'm not scanning my body for any problems. I'm not bracing for decline. I'm just protecting clarity. And clarity feels so good.
That's the shift. When clarity becomes the goal, behavior organizes itself naturally, not through discipline, through feedback, through learning what actually works and repeating it.
People say, but what about your MRI? I will have one this summer. I don't know what it will show, and really, I'm fine with that, and that's okay.
Because scans measure structure. They don't measure lived function. They don't capture ease, timing, confidence, or trust in motion.
I know how I feel. I know how my days unfold. I don't put my life on hold waiting for some data from some brain scan.
Peace is not denial. It's confidence built from consistent feedback and lived evidence. The nervous system only adapts in the present. It only repairs what it's asked to repair now.
Some people say to me, "You're just lucky." If you had known me when I first had MS, when I first developed it, I was the unluckiest of all. I had so many symptoms. But of course, I don't say it to them. I just smile. Luck didn't teach me the essentials that took me all this time to develop. Luck didn't teach me pacing. Luck didn't teach me how to listen to my body. Luck didn't teach me restraint. Luck didn't teach me how to know when to stop. Nothing.
Skill did. Repeated, practice skill applied over time.
And here's something I want to say clearly to you. This is not about blaming anyone who's struggling. No, I would never. MS is not a moral failure. Fatigue is not weakness. Symptoms are not character flaws.
Agency and compassion are not opposites. They strengthen each other when used together.
But pretending we have no influence helps no one. I stopped asking why this happened to me. I started asking what helps. And when I did that, it changed everything. It gave me a direction that I focused on.
That question invites adaptation. It invites learning. It invites repair. It invites ownership without shame.
Joy came back quietly. Almost unnoticeable at first. Not as excitement, not as hype, as ease, as steadiness, as trust. Mornings without hesitation, just the smallest things, movement without negotiation. Days that didn't revolve around symptoms or recovery.
Joy is a biological signal. It tells the nervous system the environment is survivable. It tells the brain it can invest forward instead of guarding backward.
I don't say I beat MS loudly. I don't need to. I live well. I move cleanly. I feel stable. I feel present. And I have zero symptoms.
Louder than declarations.
I'm so happy. I've never been this happy. Not because I'm ignoring reality. No. Because I built one that works. And because it actually feels good to live this way.
In this duet, not to argue, not to persuade, not to compete with fear, but to show what happens when stability becomes the foundation.
I have multiple sclerosis. I live symptom-free. Both are true. You can too. In your own way, in your own time. Until the next one.